Happy game day, Broncos country. At least for now, as it's the start of the evening before the game, and nothing bad has happened yet. My name is Kevin. You're watching the Tailgate Talk here from the Bourbon Broncos No BS crew, part of the Orange Weekly Broadcast Network. Again, my name is Kev Dan. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I want to hear from all of you as to what you think is going to be happening tonight from the game, the scores. We're breaking down all the things such as the inactives list, all that stuff, right? So please make sure you're putting stuff in the comments. I want to hear from you guys more than anything. First thing we're going to do tonight is start by looking at the inactives, right? So that came out just a little bit ago. A couple names on the Broncos. I'm not going to talk about the Chiefs inactives because pretty much nobody of importance is on their inactives list. We were looking to see maybe Travis Kelce because of his ankle injury. However, he is active tonight, and so that's going to be something to really keep an eye on in terms of how often he's out on the field. But I'm sure we're going to talk about that tonight as well. As for the Broncos, we got Frank Clark, which is, I mean, you're talking about an utter disappointment, right? This guy, we got him from the Chiefs. He came in, he was talking a lot of really good things in terms of, hey, I want to make this team good. No, I'm here to help turn this team around. I'm excited to beat the Chiefs. Like I want to get out there and help this team win against the Chiefs. And he's done absolutely diddly squat. This is an absolutely horrible signing. Thankfully, if you guys did not hear the news, Frank Clark did restructure his contract to give about $1.8, I believe, $million back. Allison, how you doing? I love the enthusiasm. 38-25 or 35-28. I'm a little dyslexic today. 35-28 with the game-winning interception for pick six by Justin Simmons. Man, if that happens, Allison, that is going to be fantastic. I will say for everybody watching, remember, if the Broncos win and you guess the correct score, that we will send you some awesome Orange Weekly swag, some free Broncos swag, and we'll hook you up. So make sure you put your score predictions in there as well, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and the share button for the video and all that stuff for us as well. Okay, let's see what else. So yeah, Frank Clark is just huge disappointment. And really hoping that was going to be a thing that worked in our favor, right? Bringing him from the Chiefs, we were hoping we'd get that veteran experience of somebody who knows how to win, knows how to be on a winning team. But we just hadn't seen that at all, period at the end. I know he was injured for a few weeks, but that doesn't mean, that he wasn't able to do anything. And he just didn't do anything from the very beginning. He went out there, and you'd be lucky if you even saw his number in the mix, much less if he was actually even doing something, on the field. So we'll have to look to see, what the impact is of him not being on the field. If anything, it's more like it's going to be a good thing that he's not there. Let's see. Another big name on our inactive list, DJ Jones, the defensive tackle there, is out. Not sure why. That's an interesting one because the defensive line has been atrocious. Especially last week. You remember the first half they did really well. We did a really good job holding the Jets' run game to a very performance. And in the second half, they just let the floodgates open and they just let the Jets run right through us, right down the middle for the rest of the game. And so today, with DJ Jones being out, that makes me question, okay, well, what is that going to look for the line? Why is he out? I don't remember him being injured or anything like that, right? So we'll have to see. I want to hear more of what your concerns are for this game, guys, what comments you have, for sure. And let's talk about Greg Dulcich, the tight end for the Broncos, who is active tonight. Really hoping that he is going to have a bigger role in what this offense can do. Obviously, the offense has been doing okay. When they're moving the ball well, right? Very often do we see them get like a couple of first downs and then they have to punt. When they're driving the ball, they move the ball well. And then when things break apart, they break apart hard. Okay? They just absolutely stop in their tracks. I'm not really sure why. You look at last week, one of the biggest concerns a lot of people had was that when we were within the 10-yard line, closer to the 6-5 5-yard line, whatever, and ready to go for the touchdown. The multiple times we were in that position last week, we didn't even throw into the end zone a single time. They were either runs or they were slants, or those screen passes out to the side. So the question is, why are we not being aggressive and trying to get into the end zone? And I think that's a very, very good question and concern for us, because this is a game where you cannot, if you want to have a chance to win this game, you cannot be settling on field goals. And we just know that is something the Chiefs are going to take advantage of instantly if that's the position we put ourselves in. Look back to what happened last time we played them in Denver. They took advantage of our poor offense right off the bat and went up, I think, 28-0 more or less. I mean, they were up by 28 points. Now, we did almost come back in the second half, but it was an utter team failure in the first half. And so this problem of the Broncos only playing a portion of the game is huge, and it's been going on for years. But that really brings into question the coaching, right? You look at what Sean Payton has done in the past, what his reputation is. And we're now we've played 5 games this season, and this team cannot figure out how to put together a solid 3 quarters. We can't even do a solid 3 quarters. Okay. At some point things break apart. The other team figures out what we're doing and we cannot adjust. And so when you look at, the Chiefs and their coaching staff, one of my big concerns tonight is that we're going to be outcoached, because we've been outcoached every single week this year. So how are we going to go up against Andy Reid on a Thursday night in the Chiefs Stadium and not expect to be coached well enough that we're going to outcoach Andy Reid? I don't know. It's possible. Sean Payton has the ability to do it. These players on the Broncos have the ability to go out there and win, but they just cannot put together a full game. And until they can put together a full game, they are more than likely not going to beat the Chiefs. Now, anything can happen, right? Any game day, anything can happen. That's just the way of the game. And that's part of why we love the game, right? You never know. So even though we've lost to them 15 times in a row, maybe tonight's the night. And maybe tonight's the night that we figure things out. We get things clicking. We're cutting some of the cancerous players from the team. Frank Clark is going to be gone. Not saying Jerry Jeudy is cancer by any means, right? But he just hasn't performed up to what his expectations are, or what we have for him. Lots of rumors about him being traded. Randy Gregory was a horrific signing. We traded him. So we're starting to see some of these pieces get moved. I think Sean Payton is starting to figure out what the locker room is, the personalities, who are the leaders, who are the ones that he wants to build a team around, who are the ones that he wants to get rid of, and I think we're starting to see that. Brad, how you doing, man? Worried about the future of Jeudy at the moment. He really needs to work hard to get his full potential. Yeah. And if you look back at some of the plays, and what I needed to start doing is when I see these videos online or whatever, I need to save them so I can play them for you all when I'm talking about them. But time and time again, what we notice from Jeudy is when he notices the play breaking apart and maybe Russell Wilson not looking his way, Jerry Jeudy just kind of stops. He just kind of stops. Like, oh, you're not throwing to me, then why should I try? Why should I try to get open? He has a level of quit. He doesn't play to the end of the whistle. He doesn't play to whatever the case is. So I think that's a big problem with Jeudy is it's very much if you're not going to throw the ball to me, then I'm not going to try this play. If my number's not the one that's being called, then I'm not going to be given 100%. So look, being an NFL player is something I could never do by any means, right? Not saying that I could. But when you're attracted, a first round pick like Jerry Jeudy, and you go out there and just time and time again we see on the field just stop in the middle of your route because you're not getting the ball, then it calls into question, like, why are you here? There are a lot of younger wide receivers that are just dying for a chance to make a name for themselves, and I'd rather have them out there play with 100% passion the entire game, even if they get 1 or 2 looks, versus Jerry Jeudy, who, yeah, he has he has good game sometimes, but it's just not there. It's just not there. And maybe best of luck to him. I think he is going to get traded, and nothing against him or anything. I just hope that, where he goes, he can find his potential out there. I just don't think it's going to be with the Broncos. I think the experiment between Judy and Sutton is over. We have got to go into a rebuild mode, and rebuild means cutting everything, from just starting from scratch. Pretty much, unless you're Justin Simmons or I wouldn't say Justin Simmons, PS2 or Russell Wilson, your spot on the team needs to be earned. Okay, and that includes Jerry Jeudy. I don't know if he's playing to that level to say, hey, I want to be here, I deserve to be here. We'll see tonight. That's going to be answering a lot of questions as well. But it goes back to, so Brad, thanks for the comment for sure. Hey man, how you doing? Glad you're here. Yeah, the big thing is we need to stay close to the Chiefs. That means if our defense is just falling apart, like I'm kind of expecting them to, right? We're going to be looking at our offense to match what the Chiefs offense does. One thing we're looking at is the Chiefs haven't had a great performance. They're not like scoring a ton of points. Yeah, they're winning their games, but not by much. Look, a win is a win, but still, you're not winning by much during those games, right? They're still making a lot of mistakes. The stats between Wilson and Mahomes are actually pretty close. Like really, really, really similar, right? However, what we've seen from this Broncos defense is they have a tendency to make the opposing quarterback, no matter who it is, look really good. Whether it's Tua or whether it's, even Zach Wilson or whoever, like, you know what I mean? Like, we just cannot figure out how to stop the opposing team. And so when we have a player like Travis Kelce on the other side, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned that our defense is just going to get lit up, right? You're too concerned about stopping Travis Kelce. What is that going to do for opening up their run game? And how are we going to adjust to opening up the run game, right? The discipline on the team, not taking those penalties at the most critical moments, both offense and defense. We are a team that we cannot recover from one or two bad mistakes. So we really have to go out there and play as near to perfect a game as we possibly can. We go do that, we are going to have a chance to win this game. But just like you're saying, man, we have to stay close. If this game gets out of hand, if they get 14, 17, 20, 21 points ahead of us, at that point, we could try to stage a comeback, but they don't need to do too much at that point to hold on to the lead, right? So we have seen the Chiefs year in and year out just absolutely do these things to us. And at least once a year, we play them and we just come so close to beating them, right? We just get so close and we're just like a play away, like that pass to Demaryius Thomas that could have just was almost in the end zone at the end of the game that would have won us the game. I think that was the year after the Super Bowl, right? And just things like that. We get so close and then we just fall apart. Okay, guys, game is going to start soon. I have some things I got to do beforehand, but we will be live at halftime. Make sure you're following us on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing, hit that share button. Make sure you're here live for halftime. I will be there then to help break down and hear from you guys as to what you saw in the first half and what we need to do in the second half to maybe pull away with the win. So we'll see, guys. You never know. But either way, make sure you got a drink or two or three because it could be a long night. Look, guys, with that being said, my name's Kevin from Bourbon, Broncos, No BS. Once again, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to head on out, but I hope you have a nice evening. Take care. Go Broncos.